Hi everybody, Keely Dunn here, coming to you from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I'm actually out on my balcony. I decided to, you know, do something a little different to film this, whatever we want to call it, uh, pseudo interview, bio, answering questions from George thing. So it's obviously summer. It's about 33, 34 degrees out. Bit of a heat wave. I know it gets hot in Calgary. It honestly does. Started playing at 14 years old. I had just started at a new high school in grade 10, and I needed something positive to do, something to get me out moving and meet some people in my grades. And field hockey, as they call it here, seemed like a good unknown option. I wasn't very athletic. I was very short. I'm still pretty short, but I was really short when I started high school. So all the regular sports weren't really available to me. So I thought I'd try field hockey, and I just barely made the team. And it was a love affair ever since. The club system or structure isn't super strong here. So actually, I'd say that after starting playing in high school in grade 10, that summer I went out for the provincial team because why not? I wasn't very good, but it wasn't about to stop me. And I made the under 14 Alberta team, and I then went on to play for the next 16 years, more or less. I got cut from a team or two, but I managed to play over 16 years for Alberta at national championships. I also went out and played for the University of Calgary Dinos for 5 years when I was attending that school. I played for the last 3 years of my undergrad and 2 years of law school. And also, when I started playing university, that's when I got introduced to club hockey, and I played for Phoenix in the top division from that point up until, well, a few years ago when I got my knees replaced, and then I moved down to the next division after that. Well, club hockey was my start for umpiring as well, because I had just started playing for Phoenix, and one of the older players on the team decided that she wasn't interested in umpiring the next game, and took her whistle and gave it to me and said, "You're going to do this." And I wasn't about to argue. So I went out there and wasn't a person who was going to shy away from a challenge. And I went ahead and umpired and did my basic, I guess you would call it an equivalent of a level 1. We call it provincial here in Canada, and got that rating pretty soon. And I was umpiring very regularly throughout the time that I was in university, because it was a good way to make money at the time. It was good pay for the amount of hours, and I would do the match before I played and after I played. I would umpire men's league. I would do all kinds of levels, and just did as much of it as I could because I needed the money. I didn't take umpiring seriously until I was 29, and I was playing for the senior team for Alberta at the national championships, and scored a goal finally for the first time in my career. Playing for Alberta, I scored a goal, and I walked off the pitch, and there was a gentleman there in his black trousers and umpiring shirt, and said, "Right, now that you scored a goal, you're gonna quit playing and quit this malarkey of playing." And I said, "Who are you?" Turns out he was Ian Gibson, who was one of the top umpiring managers in Canada, and basically was recruiting me off the way that I played, which was very smart and very much cheating as much as I possibly could, knowing that perhaps if I knew better than the umpires did, I could get the leg up that I couldn't manage, because I wasn't a very skilled or athletic player. And it was all about the cleverness. And I looked at him and thought, that doesn't sound like a lot of fun. Umpires don't wear cute clothes, and don't seem to have a lot of fun. They always look very grumpy. Why would I want to do that? And he basically said, "Well, you could go international." And I said, "Oh, tell me more." So that was the way that was the carrot that got dangled in front of me, that I thought, maybe this umpiring thing might be fun. And that then caused me to quit playing high performance hockey, and I went and umpired at nationals, senior nationals the next year, and I think it was about a year after that that I got my international badge. Well, like most umpires, my umpiring journey has been, it's been full of ups and downs. And I'd say that some of my high points included just getting on the international scene with so little experience and just kind of getting there very quickly was just really amazing. Although I didn't appreciate it at the time, because you don't know what you've got until it, you know, you don't have that perspective because you're inside the wine bottle, you can't see the label. And it was really, it's really quite special now that I look back on it. And I really do appreciate all those opportunities I got. Highlights include going to the Junior World Cups in 2005, where I met some of my closest friends on the umpiring scene. And then again in 2009 in Boston. That was a really amazing tournament. My first international off-continent neutral appointment was an under-21 championship in Dublin, Ireland, and that was fantastic. I didn't, again, realize just how special that was to be able to umpire that level away from home and as an off-continent neutral was a huge honor, a big privilege, and a tremendous experience. And I'd say that Olympic qualifiers in Kazan in Russia were, sorry, that was a World Cup qualifier in Kazan. Crazy. Being in Russia was just really a cultural experience that I really treasure, and I look back on and think, wow, that was pretty amazing. And being able to umpire some of the best players in the world. I can remember very clearly being growled at by Tina Bachmann, who was the captain of Germany at the time, and being yelled at by Luciana Amar, and just all kinds of really amazing players, and having that front row seat to be able to watch them do their best work is just an incredible privilege. Some of the lows, well, I mean, every time you don't get appointed to a tournament that you think you're in line for, that's always a discouraging moment. I had a very tough time in 2006 at a tournament called the Central American Caribbean Games in the Dominican Republic, and I thought my career was going to be over because it had gone so poorly, and that was what instigated my drive to go to England and umpire in the MPUA. So I was at the airport going home, and I was writing emails to Julia Gill and Jay Knuckles, rest in peace, and asking them for their help, because I was going to be coming to England in 2 months' time, and I was going to umpire there, and what do I do? And that's how I ended up going to England for parts of years, so most of the outdoor seasons for 6 years, to try to elevate my career, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made. I'm not a person who ever thought that umpiring was fun. Going places is, being able to travel the world is fascinating. Making friends with people all over the world, fabulous experience. But it's not a barrel of monkeys out there. What has drawn me to umpiring, and what continues to drive me as an umpire educator now, is just how incredibly challenging it is. And I get a lot of satisfaction and contentment out of knowing that I am on a continuous journey of challenge and improvement. It is often just so uncomfortable, and I know that I'm pushing my limits as a human being, trying to do things that most people are too scared to try. And that to me is a very important human journey, and I think it's one of the reasons that we're put out here on the earth, is to do what is special and unique in us, and how we can contribute to our communities, whether it's a broad worldwide thing or it's a very small community like a community of sports. So that has been my motivation. I think that's tied me through the last, two and a half decades of umpiring. Being an international umpire has been one of the most important experiences that I've had in my life. It's a tremendous privilege to be selected to represent your country in any respect, and to be entrusted to serve the game at that level is absolutely incredible. I think that all of those experiences have, like I said before, just really shown me the value of doing challenging things and being comfortable with being uncomfortable on a regular basis. Being able to appreciate, understand, absorb, and perform under pressure. Relishing the opportunity to go out and fail and be okay with that, and know that you're going to wake up the next day and the sun's still going to come up, and you're still going to have your family and your friends and your support, and be able to go out and do it all over again. That is where I think international umpiring in particular has helped develop that appreciation in me, and I'm a huge fan of it. If you can get to that level, it is fabulous. But you can serve the game on so many levels, and that's not the only place to do it. You just happen to be able to watch some pretty cool hockey that you wouldn't normally get to see. You are needed. You have a voice, a perspective, and you have experiences and knowledge that the world needs to see. You are not going to be coddled into it. Nobody is going to make it any easier for you. You need to grab the experience. You need to embrace it and tell yourself over and over again, even in the worst times, this is not happening to me, this is happening for me. And you will grow and learn and strengthen your character by becoming an umpire. And you get to do it inside of this game that is so beautiful and so fascinating, and to me, the best sport in the world. I don't know how you can do anything better, to be honest. So don't hesitate, and find your support networks where they exist, but know that your biggest source of strength is always going to be yourself, and you can do it.